Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu and I'm bringing out this video of me talking about some board games, and as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to go through all of my board game collection, at least on my shelves, and get rid of half of them. Theoretically, not actually, although I might get rid of some of these games. But before we continue, let me start our music so I don't forget this time. We're going to have background music, returning after a long time of not hearing it, the music that I use for Sleeping Gods. Woohoo! So if you like those songs, congratulations, you're going to hear them all again. Oh, that's a little too loud. Let's calm down just a little bit. So, at any rate, we're going to go ahead and go through the whole list. This overhead view is not going to be very serviceable for us, so no worries. I am going to switch over to another view on the tablet. Also, let's move it over there. So that way we can see a little bit better. But essentially, I have my tablet connected to my video situation so we can look at it together on the screen. I'm probably not going to revisit this overhead view because it's not really useful. So let's go and switch over to the tablet so we can get that nice full fidelity and look at it together. So what we have here is we have all the board games that are on my shelves, and there's quite a few shelves, as you can see. I have a few cube shelves, like down in this area, a whole bunch of cube shelves. These are not representative of exactly where the board games are in my living place. To be more specific, like this, actually these three are directly next to each other. So I do have this cube and this cube and this cube next to each other, and actually all six of these are correct. But this cube, for instance, is across the room. So this cube with Calico, Verdant, and Cascadia and Parks, that's across the room. Anyway, it's not really relevant. Like, I don't think anybody really cares about that. But I'm just letting you know that this is not directly representative of exactly where my board games are. This is all of them, though. And another thing to note is that some board games are missing from this list, from this visual list, I should say. So for instance, if we look at this shelf here in the corner, we can see that there's some stuff behind this. That's all my Neuroshima Hex expansions, armies I should say, that are pretty much stacked behind there. I have a whole bunch of stuff stacked behind, I think I have a whole bunch of stuff stacked behind this box here. And then when I get to my Tiny Epic series, which exists over here, behind the Tiny Epic series, I have nearly all the first editions of it. There's a lot of exceptions is what I'm trying to say. So there's a lot more board games that are actually here than what are represented. So just be wary of that. Also, some of my board games do live in my car because they're good travel games, so those games may not show up on the shelves. And then also some board games live in this little cubby area, or cubbies like this. So I will be exempting some of those games, not all of them. And then finally, the methodology. This is a lot of caveats, which is what I'm trying to make sure I mention this up front. The methodology for this whole entire list is for me to go through each shelf and eliminate half the games rounded up. What I mean by that is that if I have 5 games on the shelf, I need to get rid of 3. And by get rid of, I mean just mark them off and say that I'm get rid of them. And it's expected to be painful. It's expected to be painful, but that's what we're here for. We are here for the pain. We're here for the pain of it all. So anyway, so let's go ahead and move over into the actual listing here. I can do a whole split screen situation, but I don't know if that's going to be actually all that helpful. So what we're going to do is just kind of initially do a split screen so you can see what we're looking at. No, that's not worth it. Sorry. It's all messy looking. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the first set of shelves. This is the first set that we're going to be looking at. And this set has, was that 4 times 3, 12? So it has 12 different cube shelves all together. And I have my other place that I'm going to be marking them off. Whoops. My other place I'm going to be marking them off over here. And we're going to start the treachery of marking off half my games rounded up. So for the games in the back here, I'm not going to count those. I'm not going to include those. So we're just going to ignore those ones. But the ones that are front and center showing, we're going to mark those off. So in this shelf, I have 6 games. So I have 6. So I got to get rid of 3. Well, I should probably do it the other way. 3 from 6. So I gotta get rid of 3 games from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So 3 from 6. I mean, this one's a little bit easier than what it might seem. I have not actually sat down and played Settle Watch Sword and Coin, so that game can probably go because maybe I don't have any intention of playing it. So I guess that one's definitely gone. And then between the Railroad Inks, I mean, I guess mark off the newer ones instead of the older ones, the classics. So that's easy. That was easy. All right. Expecting a little bit more pain. This shelf, get rid of half. This is 2 from 4. So get rid of half of these. This one's a Cupcake Empire. I kind of cooled on Cupcake Empire as a game. it was a very fun thing to get into initially, but after my few playthroughs with my friends, I kind of grew bored with it, so that one's definitely gone. I have yet to sit down and play Small City Deluxe Edition, so that one I want to hold on to in Castles of Burgundy. This is my second time purchasing it. I will eventually play it, so that means by default, Concept will have to go. Concept's a really fun game though, highly recommended. Great game, phenomenal game, would recommend. Going to the next shelf, we have, oh, and to make another clarification, I forgot to mention earlier, I am counting boxes, purely boxes, that are present. So what that means is that in this situation, this is Bang and this is the Old Saloon expansion. I am counting the expansions separate. And that's only for the things that are showing, because the idea is to get rid of half of the things showing, half of the clutter, with air quotes if you will. It's not even clutter, clutter's the wrong word, but half of the things. Cycles along when I say that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. So that means I have to get rid of 4 from 7. Ugh. So I can only keep 3 of these. Okay. Controversial opinion. Controversial opinion. I know people are going to hate me, but I'm going to get rid of Death Angel. I know it sucks. I have Death Angel. I know Death Angel's out of print. It's been out of print. You can get a copy of your own for $100, but apparently I'm going to get rid of it. So there you go. Bang, the dice game. Part of me is like, let it go. But it's a nice deduction game, kind of casual. Actually, you know what? I have other games that do a better job of what Bang does. And it's only because I'm a little bit torn on these last 4, so unfortunately Bang the dice game is going to go along with this expansion. So one more. That's between Blueprint, Las Vegas, San Juan, and Canopy. I think I had to give it to Canopy. Canopy has to go. So San Juan is a game that I played exactly one time and I enjoyed it. I know there's a ton of games that do exactly what San Juan and San Juan does better, like Puerto Rico. I think San Juan is a streamlined version of Puerto Rico, where essentially you pick a role and then everybody else does like, you get to do the major part and the minor part of that role, and everybody else gets to do the minor part of the role. So San Juan is definitely a game for that. Las Vegas is just a fun turn your brain off, chuck dice, and place it in places game. And then Blueprint, I actually like Blueprint a lot. It's like a little like dice positioning goal achievement game. It's pretty good. Good enough for me to hold on to. All right, so this is where I benefit from the fact that I'm getting rid of boxes. So technically, and this is a technicality that I'm going to take advantage of for my favor. Technically, all of these expansions fit in that one box. So as a result of that, because all of these expansions here fit in that one box, what that means is that technically I can just get rid of all of these and hold on to those 2. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that that's a truth. And yeah, we're going to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I only really need to get rid of 3 because there's 6 boxes here. But there. Boom. Done. So it's 3 from 6. Math is hard. Done. All right, moving on. This one is Cube Quest, Pandemic the Cure, Sushi Go, Hot Zone. This is 5. So I get rid of 3 from 5. This one's actually kind of painless too. I'm not a fan of Pandemic. So I'm also not a fan of Sushi Go. Like this whole entire shelf can go, to be honest. Like I have no direct attachments to any game in this shelf. So as a result of that, oh, sorry. I just turned the music up a little bit, my apologies. But as a result of that, just because Pandemic is so readily... Well, okay. I'll say it this way. Pandemic, the base game, can definitely go. Pandemic the Cure is a fun dice-based version of the game, but it still feels pandemic-y. And then Pandemic Hot Zone is a better streamlined version of the game, in my opinion. It's very simplistic and simplified in like set to last in 30 minutes, but even still, I think that will go. Now, the only reason why I'm kind of considering hold on to a Pandemic is because I'm not a fan of Sushi Go. And Cube Quest is fun for like the first 10 minutes you play it, and then afterwards it becomes very boring. Or it becomes very samey, I should say. So as a result of that, I'm considering getting rid of either Sushi Go or Cube Quest and hold on to Pandemic because it gives me a little bit of variety. And I think by default, Cube Quest will be the one to go because at least Sushi Go gives you some flexibility when it comes to party games with friends and stuff. Man. It's just not all that rough yet, but it's getting there. All right, here's a shelf that's going to be a bonanza. I can already tell you that all these boxes of Pixel Tactics are empty because I have the Pixel Tactics big box, the deluxe edition box. So pretty much all those can go. Those are freebies. So because I know that all these can go, I'm just going to mark those off as 1. And we're going to count those as 1, even though it's 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to be 5 from 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's 9. I think, yeah, Hero Realms can definitely go. I'm not a fan of that game at all. I tried to play the campaign version. It wasn't a lot of fun. So those two, oh, so let me get the actual X's here. So those two can go. So that's 1, 2, 3. So is it playing the same song? Sorry, I just got caught in the loop, didn't you? Sorry, it's driving me crazy. So that's 3. I need to get rid of 2 more. I guess we can get rid of... So this box is technically empty, but hey, I'll take the benefit where I can and get rid of the Flip City expansion and then 1 more. I mean, Flip City is not that fun. It becomes very samey. It becomes very solvable. It becomes a solvable puzzle. So I guess I could probably just get rid of the whole Flip City set and call it a day. So I'll get rid of Flip City Wilderness, the expansion, and just hold on to the base game for now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of 9, cool. Alright, the first shelf that might be difficult. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 from 6. The challenge of this one is that Castles of Burgundy, the card game, is inside of the board game box. To be more specific, if I go back up here, right here, inside of my copy of Castles of Burgundy, the board game, there's space for you to store. I have an insert, and with that insert, there's space for you to store Castles of Burgundy, the card game. So because of that, I could just sacrifice that box and live with it, but also don't want to kind of eliminate it. Alpha Null can go. It's a game that, like, I played it and it's kind of confusing to kind of understand how to play, and I see where the fun is, but I'm not a fan of the card quality, and I also don't really feel like sitting down to like fully strategize with it. So Alpha Null is gonna go, unfortunately. Raiders of Scythia, I've had it for probably about a year, never played it, so that one's obviously gone. And then we all know my feelings about Hadrian's Wall. I think it's not the most glowing of roll and writes. I know a lot of people love it, and I agree it's a great game. Objectively, it's better than Twilight Inscription, like I said before in one of my previous videos, but in this particular situation, I like Red Cathedral better. Project L, really great game to get to the table with family and friends and non-gamers alike, or assuming your family and friends are not gamers. And then Castle Burgundy, the card game, is just such a good game, in my opinion. Oh, this is an easy shelf. I say this one's an easy shelf because I've made plenty of videos on Final Girl as a series, and plenty of videos on Final Girl Season 1 stuff. So, starting off with the easier ones to get rid of. Yes, Sacred Groves can definitely go. That one is nope. That's a bunch of nope. Carnival of Blood is next up. That one can definitely go. And now this is the hard part. So let's count how many we have. We have, this is the birds. This is the... Okay, so this is all 1. This is all 1 here because I sleeved my expansion for the birds and it didn't fit in the original box, so this is actually the birds here. So this is a 1, let's just do that. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 from 8. It's kind of unfair too, because like that's a module box, but hey, this is the way we're playing it, so. Cartographer, Heroes Cartographers can go because I have the app, and the app is much more fun in my opinion because less mind work to upkeep and count the score. It does it for me. So that one I have as an app, it can go. And then going into this, I think if I had to choose between the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 bosses, I would probably get rid of Creech Manor because I feel like it's a little bit less fun. For me in particular. So I'll definitely I'll hold on to Hans, I'll hold on to Maple Lane, and I'll hold on to the birds. Also, my music is doing... Oh, sorry. I had a bad signal path. My apologies. Going into this one's the Season 2 stuff. I have yet to play it. I do plan on doing at least one video playthrough of me playing one of these. I don't know which one. Probably the Once Upon a Full Moon, but maybe, especially after reading some of the rules, I might be more interested in Madness in the Dark. We'll see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the zombies. Ooh. There's my handwriting there. Not that anybody needs to see that. Zombies. So this is a 7, so I need to get rid of 4 from 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. This one's easy because this box is a core box again. I already have 1 core box. I do not need 2. Although the final grows are in there. I can remove them from the box. That's fine. So that's an easy 1. So get rid of 3 things. I think I'll get rid of Into the Void. I think I'll get rid of Panic at Station. And I think I'll get rid of the grave one. Terror from the Grave. So that's 4. Okay. Alright, next up is going to be this shelf, which is the last of the first set of pictures. Man, it's a lot of games to go through. How many minutes are we in? Alright, we are 15 minutes in. Made it through almost 1 page of shelves. So this is 5, so 3 from 5. That is a 5. So 3 from 5. Huh. Unfortunately, Hit Z Road has to go. I like it as a game, but compared to the rest of these, I don't know if I like it that much more as a game. Ascension can go because I have it digitally, and then Spirit Island, by the same virtue, can go because I have it digitally. So I'm holding on to Town Builders Coverden, which I had played once. It's actually pretty fun. And then I play Space Base. I have a lot of expansion for Space Base. Everything except for the commanding box and the other expansion. I have Shy Pluto. I don't have the other one, whatever the other one's called. All right, so now we're moving on to the next set of shelves. Let's go ahead and go back to our photos so we can see. So we've gone through all these, and we've made our decisions. Oh, actually, I don't remember seeing this one. I missed a shelf. Uh-oh. All right, give me a second. I gotta go find that shelf. Oh, I missed 2 shelves. I missed that one and that one. Okay. All right, let me go find those shelves. There's no easy way to do this, is there? Oh, no. So I should have double checked before I started the video. Let me see if I can do this without breaking my progress here. What do I need to do? No. Alright, cool. Well, looks like we are in the struggle side of things. Actually, oh no, there's hit back. Should be able to back out, right? Right? There we go. Cool. Going back into here. Okay, cool, there we are. Alright, I don't know if I can do this without breaking the progress of everything, but we'll see. So let's see if I can do... attach. Oh boy, y'all get to see how the sausage is made here. So, we're missing... Twilight Inscription... Nope, Twilight Imperium... No, sorry, Imperium the Contention, sorry. My eyes. So missing that one, or we're missing Cat Lady. No! Oh, hey, I did it. Okay, cool. Alright, a little bit out of order, but alright. Okay, cool. Alright, all is saved. We will continue. We're doing it. This is why I like doing videos live, y'all, because y'all get to see me struggle. Also, I don't know. Oh, that's how I escape it. Okay, cool. Alright, duly noted. Duly noted. I'm in reading mode. There we go. Okay, so these 2 shelves here, these 2 shelves are on the previous one, so let's go and finish up those ones. So this is 5, so 3 from 5. So 3 from 5. Legacy Dragonholt can go. Good Cop, Bad Cop can definitely go. And one more. This is actually hard. because I like Sail to India as a game. It's very small, also hard to find too. Terraform Mars Ares Expedition is fun, but I think Imperium the Contention is a little bit more my speed. I think Terraform Mars Ares Expedition is the better game though. So unfortunately, oof. Let's see, how attached am I to Sail to India is a question. Because like if I can just convince myself to get rid of Sail to India, then I think I save myself the heartache of having to get rid of one of these two. But I just like Sail to India is such a fun game. Like if you can ever find that game and play it, like on Boardgame, it's not Board, I was gonna say Boardgame Geek, on Tabletop Simulator or anywhere else, it's a lot of fun. Definitely play it. It's a really fun like kind of expanding and doing mercantile trading game. But I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's better than Ares Expedition and Imperium. Alright, fine. Alright, Sail to India is gone. First difficult choice of the day. That's very unfortunate. Okay, moving on. This is the last of the first page. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 of 7. So this one's actually kind of straightforward. So I can get rid of the expansion for Cat Lady, the Dog Lover, because I don't think it's that great of a game. I've played it exactly 0 times, but it looked like it wasn't that fun. Cahoots can go, and Point Salad, I didn't find it that compelling of a game. Import Export is kind of borderline, but it's actually, I feel like it's a game that I want to revisit. Whereas Point Salad just kind of felt, well, it's a point salad. It's literally just, I feel like with Point Salad, you can just deal everybody 20 cards, and then tell them to get rid of 5, and then add their score, and that's how much you would get for points. Like, that's what it feels like after I finish playing it. Cool. Alright, so that was the first shelf. So let's move on to the second shelf. So this is our second shelf. Here we have some notable games such as Cash and Guns and Cascadia, and we also have Twilight Inscription over there. Takanoko's down here. So we might have some difficult decisions in this one too. Not entirely convinced yet, but we'll see. So let's change our pin color. Let's go to like a blue. Let's go to purple. Alright, so starting with the first one, this is the expansion for Captain Sonar. It can go, obviously, but hold on, before we do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 3 from 6. And let's see, so this can go. Marquis, I thought was a very compelling game, but unfortunately it feels solvable and samey. So it unfortunately has to go. And then from the rest of these, I guess I have a lot of choose your own adventure style games, so I think House of Danger can go. Yeah, because I mean I'm holding to D-Space D6. I have other choose your own adventure games that are games, so I think I can get rid of that one. That means I'm holding on to, what's this called? Walking to Burano, which I think kind of I don't think I actually sat down and played it. But I think I remember somebody saying it plays similar to Carcassonne, where you're building up a town or something. I don't know. And then of course Coup Rebellion has Coup and all the other stuff in there. It's all the expansions. I don't know if this is out of print. I should probably check that, see if it's out of print. Alright, moving on. Next up we have this shelf with an array of board games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5 from 10. So we have Bandito can go. I never actually played it, but it just didn't look all that fun. I kind of got it because it was cheap. It's like I think I got it for like $5 at one point. 11 Seas is a fun game, but I feel like for a game that lasts exactly 3 rounds, it lasts 2 rounds too long. So take that how you will. Take that however you will. The Aquarius can go. It's a fun, straightforward game, but it's also like, in a league of the rest of these, it can go. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with the rest of these though, because I need to get rid of 2 more. I think those 2 might unfortunately be 1 deck dungeon, Forest of Shadows. The poison mechanism I wasn't that much of a fan of. I just kind of like the base game. Also, you can see how beat up that box is. Also see how dusty that shelf is. Like look at that dust down there. You dust my shelves off. But yeah, 1 deck dungeon has traveled with me for a while, so that one's definitely staying. And then I think the other one to go is probably Castle Panic. It's the easiest scapegoat. I think it's a great introductory game. I think it's a good game to get people like, you know, into the hobby of board gaming and everything. It's very simple, straightforward. You can play co-op. You can play 1v all. There's a lot of fun things you can do with it, but on this shelf, it's going to go. Micropolis is a nice little city building game with ants and point scoring, a little bit of point salad situation going on, but it's still fun. And the Mesozoic, I just like the puzzle aspect. If you don't know how to solve a 9 puzzle, Mesozoic is a very frustrating game. But if you can get your way around a 9 puzzle, like a, you know, those little puzzles where you move pieces around to make a picture, Mesozoic is a fun game. All right, so that is that shelf. Now we're into this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 3 from 5. This shelf is a little bit difficult because I feel like I am contractually obligated to hold on to Freedom because I will be doing a video on that one eventually. I just don't know exactly when I'll be doing a video on that one. And then Renegade, I'm trying to give Renegade another chance, but it basically it's pandemic. Oh, actually, okay, saying it's pandemic with a lot more steps. I think it's how I worded it in the video itself when I did my playthrough of it. So I feel like that's a fair assessment. So because of that, I think it's reasonable to let that one go. So I think Renegade is gonna go. Codenames non-Pitchers version is gonna go. That game is far less superior. Or Codenames Pitchers is far superior. That's what I was trying to say. And then I think from here, Gym Rush, I want to hold on to it, but I think between Freedom and The Downfall of Pompeii, Gym Rush has got to go. The Downfall of Pompeii is such a great game to get people into board gaming too. It's fun, interesting, a little bit of take that involved, get people into the flow of, you know, following rule sequence and everything. It's a good game. All right, this shelf here. So we have 2 from 4. So getting rid of 2 games. I think this one's definitely gone for sure. And Splendor's gone as well. So Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. I'm not the biggest fan of social deduction games. That's just a genre that has not really clicked too much with me. I kind of prefer a little bit more game in my game. I feel like social deduction games are more on the social than the deduction part. Take that how you will. Also, I'm not that great at deduction. Like when it comes to like following facts and figuring out stuff and, you know, playing like Sherlock Holmes, it's not my thing. But Deception, Murder in Hong Kong is fun because it allows you to have that same deception, that, like, you know, deceiving people and all the other fun stuff, but without the strings attached of being a good liar. Like, you don't have to lie in that game. You can just pretend that you're not the one who did it. And also, it's a very compelling puzzle to play with everybody. And then Basket Boss, it's a fun auction game. I don't know how much else to say about that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the next shelves is 3. Oh man, this one's kind of tough. This one's kind of tough because I was just talking about how cool Codenames Pitchers is. So that one has to stay. And that unfortunately means that 3 of these have to go. 3 of these last 4 have to go. And I think if I'm choosing between these 4, I think unfortunately Forbidden Desert gets the boost. Forbidden Island gets the boot, and Shaky Manor gets the boot. Shaky Manor, I wasn't too much attached to, or too attached to it, but Forbidden Island, I think was one of the first 5 board games I ever purchased when I got into the hobby around 2020, whenever it was, somewhere in the 2010s, like mid 2010s. So unfortunately, that one going is a little sad, but hey, that's how the cookie crumbles here. Alright, next up on the shelf, we have a lot of games. You can also see Terraform Mars Prelude expansion in the background there. But remember, we're not counting those. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is going to be 5 from 9. This is a very cruel process, y'all. This game is the Yard Express down here. And the Yard Express can go. Coup can go because I have Coup G57 or G56. So I technically have the better version of Coup, or I can have the more flexible version of Coup, I should say. Penny Lane can go. Penny Lane is a interesting version of Mintworks, a game that we'll see later on, probably. Actually, no, we won't, because it's in my that's one of the games that lives in my car. But Penny Lane is basically a bigger version of Mintworks. If you want a bigger version of Mintworks, you can play that. But I think Mintworks is just a good game. So Penny Lane is a copy of a good game. I already have Mintworks. Penny Lane's gone. And then from here, we need 2 more. Oh yeah. The Wizard Always Wins. I never actually played it. It doesn't sound all that fun, and that's all I'd say about that one. And I think Fairy Tail's gone, unfortunately. Fairy Tail's basically Sushi Go, but with a different skin on top of it. So, oh sorry, Fairy Tail came first, just to clarify, and then Sushi Go came out afterwards. But even then, Fairy Tail's unfortunately gone because I have it in the form of Sushi Go. Parade, very fun game. My parents actually like that game a lot. So it's a very fun, compelling game. Would recommend it if you're trying to get people in the game. Gameception is a game that you play while playing other games, and I love it for a board game night. If you could find yourself a copy of that, go for it. There's another game called Pretense, that's by Plaid Hat Games that you can get. That's basically Gameception, but with a little bit less rules. I like Gameception better because, you know, the things are like metagaming things, like, you know, give somebody a high five. If you high five somebody, then you get you score a point, or if somebody sits in your chair, you score a point, or if you take the last nacho, then you get a point, type thing. And you play the game, like once you score a point, you get a new card and it's a new goal. And at the end of the game night, whoever has the most points wins Gameception. So it's fun because you can play a game while playing other games. So I would highly recommend Gameception. I would like to see more games like Gameception to give me more variety to play during my game nights. But take that how you will. All right, moving on. So we have 4, so 2 from 4. And here we have Garden Dice, Battle Sheep, Betrayal. Oh yeah, Betrayal is gone. That can go bye-bye. I am not a fan of Betrayal at House on the Haunted Hill at all. I do not like the fact that you play the game pseudo-cooperatively because somebody randomly is going to become the enemy or the villain and some other team's going to become the heroes. And then especially if the house starts flying off the ground if you're playing the base game, and then you have 3 parachutes and it's 5 players. I do not like that mechanic. I would much rather play Mansions of Madness. Actually, to clarify, I'm not a fan of Mansions of Madness either, but I finally sat down and played through Mansions of Madness with one of my good friends, and I will say that Mansions of Madness is what I wanted Betrayal at House on the Haunted Hill to be, but I'm still not a fan of it. So take that how you will. And then between these 3, I think Garden Dice will have to go because actually, yeah, Garden Dice has to go. Because originally I was thinking I was going to get rid of Cash and Guns because, you know, the theming and everything, and people might not feel comfortable with that, especially considering the environment that we're in politically in the United States specifically. But I still think it's a pretty fun and compelling game, especially for the correct group. Whereas Garden Dice, I mean, the game's kind of a dime a dozen. Garden Dice does what Dice City does, but with Garden Dice, it's... I think I'm going to get rid of Dice City anyway, so once we get to it, but yeah, that one's gone. All right, moving on. This shelf is pretty easy to do because I only have context for 2 of these games. Actually, 2 of these games. I have only played Cascadia. I have not played these other 4. But amongst these 4, I know Calico's pretty cutthroat, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Or it can be pretty cutthroat. The Parks games, I mean, I hear that once you play the Parks games like 4 or 5 times, it becomes the same game, so it becomes samey. I'm assuming the Parks Memories is a memory match one, so I'm not that much of a fan. But this is supposed to be a 3 from 5. So there's my 3. So Calico's gone, Parks is gone, and Parks Memories is gone. But Veridan and Cascadia can stay. Alright, my Roll and Write shelf. This is one of the few shelves that I have that all the games on it are of the same theme. And I was very happy that it all fit in one cube shelf. And now half have to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 from 8. So 4 from 8. Yeah, this one's pretty simple. Roll and Write's gone. I never played it. I have other Roll and Writes. I'll play a game called Roll and Write when I have other Roll and Writes that are doing, or Verb and Writes that are doing good things. Las Vegas, Welcome to Las Vegas, that one can go. Compared to the rest of these, Cartographers can go because I have the app. That's the easy giveaway. But let's say compared to the rest of these, I think Ganshan Clever. I mean, I have the digital app for that one too, so yeah, Ganshan Clever's gone. Because I can play it digitally too. If I was going to hold on to Ganshan Clever though, I would consider getting rid of the Search for Planet X, because I know that there's a Search for Species X that's out, or I don't know if it's out or coming out, but I heard it announced or heard it talked about, and that one sounded more compelling to me, because it gives you more stuff to do. And this game up here, appears Metro London. It's on the side because it fit that way.
But Metro London is a very fun game. It's funny because I feel like you spend more time scoring the game than you do playing the game. But that's just me thinking about the game. Oh, speaking of the double, Dice City. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 3 from 5. So 3 from 5. Let's see. So of these 3, Prosperity can go. I have not actually played it, but I got it for $5 at a board game store because it was damaged and also it was on clearance or something. But I got it for $5, so I was like, cool. Worst case scenario, I can salvage pieces. So that one can go. The Heartland Shipping Co. The Great Heartland Shipping Co. can go as well. It's a fun game. I enjoy it, but I unfortunately cannot play it solo. And unfortunately, a lot of times when I pick board games nowadays, it's like, can I play it solo? Yes or no. And in this case, I cannot play it solo. And then Dice City can go as well. I wasn't a fan of the game as like what the game does and delivers is fun. It's just I didn't enjoy the process of getting to it. So it just didn't feel like my kind of city building or engine building game. Multi-Universium is actually a interesting game because it seems like it has this really cool artwork and it's really like, you know, like scientific, like science gone wrong type stuff going on. But it's kind of a pick up and deliver style game where you're just kind of playing action cards to do stuff, and it's a very interesting game. I don't know if many people know about it, but I think it's a fun game, which is why it survived. And then Takanoko's Takanoko. It's an adorable game. Very, very compelling gateway game that has a lot of cutthroatness to it. Okay, cool. So let me check our time. Okay, all right, so we're at 39 minutes, or 36 minutes on the video. Let's see, how many more shells? I think we have 3 more shells left. Yeah, we have 3 more shelves left. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these next shelves are pretty dense. All right, so I'm gonna go through 1 more shelf. Okay. Now you know I'm trying to get all in one video. I was considering making a secondary video with this series, but I think I want to just try to get it all done in one go. So this, oh, I'm missing. I did not see that shelf. I think I know where that shelf is. Is it below the line? Yeah. So this shelf got out of order somehow. So this shelf is a part of the previous set. So this is going to be 2 from 4. So get rid of 2. I thought I got rid of King of Tokyo for the longest, to be honest. I thought I gotten rid of it, but apparently it's on one of my lower shelves, which is why I didn't realize it was there. So I guess that one's gone because I thought it was gone already. So King of New York is gone. And between these 3, Sheriff of Nottingham, I did speak a little bit about how, you know, social deduction games aren't really my thing, but I kind of like the character that Sheriff of Nottingham lets you play. It kind of lets you play the character of like, you know, hey, I'm the sheriff, give me money, bribe me so I can let you go. It does feel very arbitrary at the end of the day, though. So I think between Citadels, Power Grid, and Sheriff of Nottingham, I think Sheriff of Nottingham is the weaker game for me specifically. So I think that one's unfortunately gone. Really compelling game, and I have yet to actually sit down and play Power Grid, the card game, but I just, from what I hear, people say it's similar to the math of Power Grid, but like with less steps. So whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I don't know. All right, anyway. All right, so I think we got all that shelf. Yep, we've seen all of these. Okay, cool. So now we're moving on to the 3rd shelf. We're at midway there. So the 3rd shelf features all these games. This one actually might be a little bit difficult because there's some games in here that I kind of enjoy a lot, especially when we get to this shelf down here. This shelf over here with legendary stuff, I mean, that's going to be kind of, I'm just going to arbitrarily mark off half. Because like I have not played with every single thing inside of that. Also, there's a whole like discussion on Marvel Legendary we'll probably get to once we get down there. All right, so let's see. Let's change our color again since we're on a new set of shelves. Let's go with light blue for this one. So starting with this shelf, we're at 2 from 4. So we're at 2 from 4. So on this one, let's see. Oh, also let's shift up the music here. Get some more get some battle music going.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So I think Wits and Wagers can go. It's a fun game, but I think it's gonna go. Turing Machine is kind of close on the going. Like, I can play it solo. It's like a lot of fun. I cannot play Dixit solo, but I have an interest in Dixit, Stella, the Stella Galaxy game, a Dixit game, whatever it's called. It's where you can use the Dixit cards to play a social deduction version of Dixit, or basically cast Mansions of Madness. Oh, no, sorry, not Mansions of Madness. Mysterium. You can basically play Mysterium with Dixit cards, so I kind of want to hold on to it, but in the realm of the rest of the games, unfortunately, it got a tough shelf, so it's gone. Sorrow of the Seas is okay as a game. It's like one of the first 25 games I ever purchased of my 500 plus games that I have, apparently, according to Boardgame Geek. So it's I'm a little sentimentally attached to it. So here we have 2 of 4 that we're gonna get rid of. Scotland Yard social deduction games are really bad at it. Also, I think Scotland Yard is a boring game. I'm considering getting Mind Management as a game to kind of like be my definitive social deduction game, because I hear some really good things about that one. So we'll see if I actually want to shell out the $60 for that game. But otherwise, Scotland Yard is gone. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Dice Masters is gone too. It is Dice Masters in a very enclosed system. It's fun, but there's a funny story. Me and one of my good board gaming friends, we literally sat down and played that game from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. the next day. I don't know why, but we did. And ever since then, I've never revisited. Actually, no, that's not true. I've revisited it once, but I've not had interest in playing anything Dice Masters since. So I think I really burnt myself out with that one. Just playing competitive games with him, just so many times back to back. And if you wanted the score on that one, I think my friend won like 9 games, and I won 1, the last one we played. So I think we kept playing because I was trying to win, and I just couldn't get my strategy together. It was brutal. Moving on. This shelf here, 2 of 4. So 2 have to go. 5-minute dungeon is definitely gone. And this one's an expansion box. All this stuff is inside of the big box of Hyperborea. So Hyperborea, the expansion box is gone. If I had to choose, or if I wanted to hold on to this expansion box, I would probably get rid of Subterra. I'm not a fan. Like it just feels like a Forbidden Island, which Forbidden Island I already have a relatively low opinion of. Like I'm attached to Forbidden Island, the board game, because it's one of the first board games I purchased, like I said before. But Subterra feels like Forbidden Island, but with less agency. And I'm like, how do you have less agency, less player decision, less impact that the player can have on the game than Forbidden Island? I don't know. But I held onto it because I think it held onto its trade value, and then it went out of print for a while, so it got really sought after, and then it came back in print with Subterra 2, or Subterra 2. Anyway, Rampage is a classic. If you can get Rampage or Terror Meeple City, the fact that I have a copy that says Rampage still, it makes me very proud. I'm very happy that I was a part of that board game era that purchased it before they got sued and they had to change the name of the game. All right, moving on to the next shelf, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 4 from 8. Mini Rogue is gone. So I sat down and played Mini Rogue with one of my friends, because you can play it 2-player. And after us playing it like 2 or 3 times, it felt very samey. It felt kind of deterministic. I didn't like the lack of decisions. I know people love the game because you have this progression system and it's a roguelite that you can play with all this other stuff, but it just felt very samey. It was kind of roll the dice. Did you get the thing you needed, yes or no? If no, then be sad. So I wasn't really feeling it. So it's a game that can go. It can go. With the rest of these, Small City Winter Expansion. This is an expansion box, so this one of course can go because the all the content inside that box is inside the main box. So that one's just taking up space, to be honest. And then for the rest of these, Under Falling Skies is in question. It's in question, but I'm probably not gonna get rid of it. I'll probably just get rid of. This is tough. This one's kind of tough. So because I'm looking at so this is the Tokyo's Tokyo Tsujiki market, or Tsukiji market, Tokyo Fish Market, and this one is Tokyo Metro, I think. or Tokyo Railroads or Subway, whatever it's called. And this is the expansion for it, for Tokyo Metro, and this is the expansion for the fish market one. I like the fish market one because it has like a player-driven economy, and that's a really cool concept, and it works pretty well when everybody's actually doing a capitalism properly. But given that I'm kind of stuck between these decisions of, you know, doing a capitalism and all sorts of things, like I think this set can go. It's a little bit difficult of a choice because I think to me this is the more compelling game, but I think this one has more legs for the long run, especially with the expansions. So because of that, I think the fish market has to go, plus this expansion. Very unfortunate because I actually do enjoy that game. When you get closer to max player count, I think this game shines. And I think max player count in this game is a 6-player game, so probably 5 is a best number because you have people trading between each other and selling and buying from each other. So that's really fun. Whereas this one I can play solo, and then also we can play, I think it plays better at maybe 2 or 3. I think 3 players it plays pretty good. Anyway, oh yeah, and then also Twilight Struggle, I have yet to play it. I will play it eventually. I don't know when, but someday. Alright, cool. Moving on, we have a shelf that's probably going to be a little bit more difficult than I would like to claim it will be. So this one's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're getting rid of 7 out of 13. Ooh, whose idea was it to round up? And by round up, I mean take the higher number, just to clarify. Alright. So 13 minutes can go. 13 minutes is a shorter version of 13, is it 13 days? Yeah, 13 days, which to me, there's a more compelling version of that kind of game where you're kind of push and pulling, you know, one side is pushing, one side is pulling. It's basically Twilight Struggle, but with, you know, the feeling of Twilight Struggle, where you're trying to play action cards and your opponent would get benefits if you play the wrong card, or sorry, if you play their card, your opponent gets a benefit, but you're trying to play for the power. It has that whole thing going on. But on the shelf of 13 games, it can go. Kodinka can go. Kodinka is a game that I think is an interesting puzzle game, but it kind of boils down to, you know, you're just, you know, your opponent, you do a thing, and then your opponent does a thing, and then you do a thing to slightly undo what your opponent did, and then your opponent does a thing to slightly undo what you did. It feels like a very stagnant game. I'm not the biggest fan of it, I should say. Imminent Domain Microcosm. I feel like I've played it before, but I wasn't that much of a fan of it. It sounded cool, but it wasn't, so it's gone. This game back here is Animal Upon Animal. It's like a very small, tiny version of it, and that game's adorable. That game stays. It stays. It stays in the shelf. Okay, so now Baseball Clubhouse. This one has all the expansion. This one has all of my bottom of the ninth. I don't know why I say baseball highlights. Sorry, this is by all my bottom of the ninth stuff. I think bottom of the ninth, there's an app for it, so because of that, this one's by Virtue is gonna go. I think as a game, it's not that fun because you're just kind of rolling dice and you versus your opponent dice rolling and see who does better. I think Baseball Highlights does what this game is attempted to do much better, which Baseball Highlights will probably live, assuming that I have enough space for it once it gets to that shelf. But that one's gone. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to hold on to this one. I want to hold on to Catacombs Conquest because it's a dexterity game that's in, I think it's in the Sleeping Gods universe. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. Or the Above and Below universe, but don't quote me on that. It's a cool dexterity game in a small box, so that's why I want to hold on to it. Natalian can go because I did not enjoy that game at all. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more. 6 Onirim or Onirim can go because I feel like it doesn't feel good as a game. It feels easier than what it probably should be. So that leaves Animal Upon Animal, Urbian, Stellarion, Arion. I think of these games left, I have not played Stellarion, and I have not played Arion. I've played the rest of these though. And Urbian is definitely staying. That game is still out of print. I'm hoping they do a reprint of it. That'll be great, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. But given what we're seeing here, I think Arion is going to go. I have not played it. I don't know if it's fun or not. But if I had to choose between the newest in the series, which is this one, and Arion, I think Stellaron is going to stay because maybe it has a more compelling mechanic. I don't know. Alright, that was a little bit difficult. It wasn't too hard. So that's 4. I know I'm committing a lot of blasphemies in this entire playlist, so my apologies to everybody who feels scarred for me giving her some of their favorite games. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 boxes. So that's 7 from 13 again. Boy, I gotta stop making these shelves long. Stellar Conflict can go. There's another game that does what Stellar Conflict does in a slightly better way, in my opinion. I forget the name of it. I think Dice Tower did a video of it recently. I could probably look it up if I really wanted to, but I'm not that curious about it. But essentially, you play ships on the table, and both you and your opponent have the same ships. It's just that you shuffle them and then you draw them one at a time. And then after you place your ships, then at the end, once everybody's placed their cards, then you take like a rubber band or some kind of ruler, and you draw a line from the highest priority thing, and then you see what it hits, and whatever it hits will either take damage or blow up or lose a shield. Sometimes it gets reflected. It is this whole thing, and there's a version of that game that exists right now that does the same thing but with an app that automates it with the scoring and the points and everything. So that's nice. So as a result, that game's gone. Moving on. 7 of these. I think 7 Wonders in Duel and 7 Wonders Leaders. Is that Leaders I have, or no, Agora? Those ones can go. I was not compelled by the 7 Wonders series, the 7 Wonders Duel series. It feels like a lot of game, and that's cool and all, but it felt like too much game for that game. I don't know. It felt like a very, very like in-depth, puzzly, crunchy game that maybe is just not my cup of tea. I don't know. Oh, sorry, my network is being network. Okay, there we go. We're back. All right, I just have to refresh my live stream. I am live streaming, by the way. If you want to check us on live stream, I do live stream. I try to live stream on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Don't quote me on those days, but I try. Anyway, moving on. This is a 7, so 4 more games. I really want to hold on to these. One of these, actually no, these are empty. Are these empty? No, these are not empty. They might be empty. One of these might be empty. Okay, one of these might be empty. I'm going to get rid of one of them because it might be empty. So I'm hoping that one of these is empty, but I'm going to get rid of one of these because I think the bigger box has all the stuff in it. I think that's how I did it, or maybe I divided it by factions. I don't remember. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So this is I need to get rid of 3 more. Pocket. Oh no. Oh, and then we held hands can go. It's a very simplistic kind of, you play a card, your opponent or your partner plays a card, and you're trying to. It's like playing Hanabi with 2 players, and you cannot communicate with each other. It wasn't a very compelling game for me, so that one can go. So that's 5. So 2 more. I think between Imhotep and Watergate, I think Imhotep can go. It's kind of like a point salad-y game to where you have like 3 different arenas that you're competing in. It was fun, and I enjoyed my experience with it, but it can go. And Watergate, of course, I'm going to hold on to that one because I think that one is a more compelling game. And then finally, Pocket Landships is going to go. I've never actually played it. I don't know why it took me that long to mark that one off, but it's gone. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So the rest have made it. Going down to here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5 from 10. 5 from 10. Am I still on the same shelf? Let me double check, make sure I'm on the correct shelf. Yeah, this shelf has a lot of stuff on it, man. Maybe I should have made another video. I'll probably cut it after I finish the shelf to make a secondary video. Because we're already at an hour here. Alright, so moving on to the rest of these. Villagers can go. I never actually played it. Apparently I'm not compelled to play it. Of the rest of these, Greenland can go. I wasn't a fan of the next step that it took. I have not actually sat down and played it. But between Greenland and Neanderthal,
I think I would rather hold on to Neanderthal. And between Neanderthal and the rest of these games, I think Neanderthal can go. So that tells you my feeling about that game. It was an enjoyable game when I played it, but it's just like, it's all based on pure dice rolls. Biogenesis is also based on pure luck and dice rolls. But the thing about Biogenesis is that Biogenesis kind of owns up to the fact that it's purely random. And it kind of has it built in like, hey, the game might end on turn 2. It's possible for the game to end on turn 2. Whereas Neanderthal, it feels like you're trying to skill up and tech up to win. And you just don't sometimes because the dice just don't roll in your favor. Going to the rest of these, I think Age of Civilization was fun when I played it a few times, but it didn't feel like there was enough game there. Like, sorry, let me be more specific. The game was not compelling enough for me to stay interested. That's a better way to say that. So I think that one's gone. Age of Galaxies I will play eventually, so I want to hold on to that one. And I need to get rid of one more. Come on, guys, just one more. One. I guess 11 Seas for Ones has to go. I mean, just the 11 Seas series, unfortunately, is like taking some L's here. 11 Seas for Ones will go. I don't really have a specific reason outside of I don't want to get rid of PAX Emancipation. I think it's my preferred version of Pandemic, but it's also very convoluted and complicated. PAX Transhumanity, it's a fun game. We've already talked about Biogenesis. PAX Transhumanity is a fun game that I compare to Terraforming Mars as a game. I think Terraforming Mars is the better game long term, but it's still very fun and compelling. It's also a small box. The Fox and the Forest Duet is a cooperative version of the Fox. I haven't actually played it. It's a trick-taking game. I'm not the biggest fan of trick-taking games, but I do want to play that one day. And then Age of Galaxies I already talked about. I want to play that once. Okay. Moving on. This is a Sentinel shelf, and okay, cool. We're getting towards the end. Ooh, this one took up all the space. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 from 7. So I don't know which boxes still have stuff in them, but I know that some of these boxes are empty. So I think these 2 are empty for sure. So that's gonna be 1, 2, and then 2 more. This one definitely has stuff in it. This one has stuff in it. I think these 2 have stuff in it. So that means this one's empty. Now the question is, which one of these, what stuff do I get rid of? I think maybe Vengeance is the one I get rid of. Because like Vengeance wasn't all that compelling. Like it wasn't all that fun. So I get rid of Vengeance. So Sentinels Multiverse, the base game is here. Vengeance, I think I have, ooh, wait, maybe, I don't know what I have stored in Vengeance, but of the expansions, Vengeance wasn't as fun. Like having the Vengeance 5 or whatever they're called, that wasn't as fun because they just kind of beat you down so easily. And then having the Freedom 5, that wasn't all that fun to play. So yeah, so that one can go. Oblivion was interesting because it gave you a lot of extra things to do and gave you like this nice little crisis mode you can play. But also, I have all this digitally, so this entire shelf could theoretically go. Like, I bought it digitally, I purchased all the expansions digitally, and this whole entire shelf could probably go. So, there's that. And then the final shelf for this particular section, which is page 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 5 from 10. From 10. So this is pretty easy. These 2 boxes can go because they are empty. I put all of my Andante stuff in one box. So those 2 can go. So there's 3 more left. 13 Days can go. It wasn't that entertaining. If I want to play Twilight Imperium, or sorry, Twilight Struggle, I'm going to play Twilight Struggle. So that's kind of how I look at it. Telestrations Party Pack, I mean, I gotta hold on to it. Like, it's such a fun game to have in a party with a group of people, and it's a good compelling game. Oof. So that means that I think I'm unfortunately getting rid of Disc Wars. Oh man. No, okay, fine. I'll get rid of Flash Duel, and I'll get rid of Pixel Tactics. I already talked about how Pixel Tactics, I was probably gonna get rid of it anyway. So that's our 5. So the reason why I'm getting rid of Pixel Tactics is because like when I did sit down and play it with a friend, it's a game that you really need to play with somebody over and over and over and over and over and over again and like it has a lot of variety. I have like all the expansions for Pixel Tactics. I have Pixel Tactics 1 through 6 plus the deluxe stuff. So I mean, it has a lot of compelling things to it, but it's just like as a game, it lasts about 45 minutes to an hour, and it's like, ah, man, I don't feel like this is like a 45 minutes to an hour experience. I feel like I want Pixel Tactics to be like a 15-minute adventure that I can like play with a cool combination, try it out, and it fails, and then try again. Whereas if I had to commit a whole hour to figure out that it's not a good combination, that's not as compelling. All right, cool. So there we go. So we're done with that one, and let's see, we're at 1 hour exactly on the video here. Let's see, how many do we have left? I think we have enough for another video. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this video here, and I'm going to start the second video. So I'm going to do part 2. So if you're watching live on the live stream, no worries. I'm going to jump back up here in a second. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and check out the next video of the series while I'll be going through the last shelves. The last 2 shelves. Man, it's only 2 shelves. Jeez. Oh, actually, oh man, I missed a part. Oh no, this is a part of the same section. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, okay. All right, well, we're going to be going through this half of the shelf over here, plus the last 2 shelves. So that should be a lot of content for that one. So that's going to be, that might push an hour as well. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you all have some games in your own collection, or sorry, if you all see me talk about some games that I have in my collection that you have in your collection, that you say, CulBlu, how could you get rid of that game? Feel free to throw it down in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to discuss some of my decision-making processes here. But this is actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. And also kind of informative, because there are some games that I'm holding on to. I'm like, why do I have that game still? So maybe I'll actually fall through and get rid of some of these games. I don't know. But at any rate, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you all whenever.